Assalamu alaikum, dear friend. I am Sakib Wasi, your maths teacher. My YouTube channel name is Math Sarkar. Okay, dear friends, we have to discuss about the topic is trigonometric ratios. What is the trigonometric ratios? We have discussed about these trigonometric ratios in our O level syllabus. Okay, dear friends, this is our opposite, and in triangle this is our hypotenuse and this is highlighted is our adjacent. So we have to memorize the formula about so so is s mean s we have a sine theta equal to o mean our opposite, and h mean our hypotenuse. Similarly, cos theta, a means our adjacent, h means our hypotenuse. Similarly, we have a tan theta because tau represent t means tan theta. Here o mean opposite and a mean adjacent. We got these three formulas. Similarly, we have to discuss about the very important role here, a table about. I have to zoom it. Okay, dear friends, this is our first quadrant, this will be our second quadrant, this will be our third quadrant, and this will be our fourth quadrant. Okay, dear friend, after discussing about these quadrant system, we have to know in first quadrant all values positive, all trigonometric ratios is positive, which means sine theta, cos theta, everyone is positive. In second quadrant is s positive, mean only sine positive. In third quadrant, T positive means only tan positive. In fourth quadrant, we have to C positive mean only cos values positive. Other values are will be negative. After this one, we have to discuss about the complementary angles to memorize the complementary angles formulas. Okay, we have a formula is regarding about the sine alpha, and sine alpha plus beta equal to sine alpha cos beta plus cos alpha and sine beta. Remember that if we change the sign here, if we write it sine alpha minus beta, here the answer will be sine alpha cos beta minus cos alpha sine beta. Similarly, we have a cos alpha plus beta equal to cos alpha cos beta minus sine alpha sine beta. If we change the sign here, here we change the sign here negative, so here will be also negative. Okay, now we have a next, we will start from the question. The question is sine 90 minus theta, what's the answer? Okay, this formula, this is also a formula to find the questions, so to find the answers about the regarding questions. Okay, um, sine 90 minus theta, it will be, if we write it here, alpha is 90 and beta is theta. Here first angle is over alpha, second angle is over beta. Okay, now here look this one, sine alpha, what is the alpha? Alpha is 90 degree. Okay, now cos beta means theta, so there is negative. I told you about this is negative, so it will be also negative. First formula here is minus cos 90 degree and sine theta. Okay, dear friends, sine 90 it is 0, so if this is 0, so cos is also will be 0. Next one is minus cos 90 is minus 1, and cos theta it will be plus cos theta. Okay, dear friend, we got the answer. So sine 90 minus theta, the answer will be we have to write it cos theta. You can memorize this formula in our different questions. Okay, this is okay. Now moving forward, this one cos 90 minus theta. Here I just zoom it. So we got sine theta. You can also show that by using previous formulas. Similarly, third one is we have tan 90 minus theta, which is equal to 1 by tan theta. This is our third formula. Supplementary angles. Here sine 180 minus theta. So we have right now apply similar fashion. We have to solve. Here is alpha is equal to 180 and uh, beta equal to theta. So we have to apply here sine alpha minus beta, sine 180 sine alpha cos beta cos theta minus here cos alpha is 180 and sine theta we have 2. Okay, now have to now sine 180 will be we have 0. So if sine 180 is 0, so cos is also will be 0. Minus cos 180 it's minus 1, and sine theta is similar fashion, minus 1 plus 1 sine theta. So we got our first answer. Next we have our next answer is cos 180 minus theta equal to minus cos theta. These formulas are you have to memorize dates. Now third one is you have a tan 180 minus theta. Here is minus tan theta. Okay. Similarly, we have a next one. We have to done by these angles here sine minus theta. Now second one is cos is minus theta, and third one is tan minus theta. Okay, sine minus theta will be sine theta. We have to write cos theta, and we have to write tan theta. What will be the on the negative here? This negative will be at outside the sine theta, and this negative is also outside the tan theta. Okay, dear friends, now what will be the sine theta, sine cos minus theta? सो cos माइनस थीटा इसमें कोई चेंजिंग नहीं होगा डियर फ्रेंड्स, ये सारे के सारे सेम रहेंगे. सो इस cos it's absorb the negative sign. Okay, cos is absorb the negative sign. Okay, dear friends, next we have a question is about next we have a question is about okay, the question is you have to find the value of sine square theta. So how we find this one? Here we know that sine theta and sine theta, these two multiply by give the answer is sine square. 2 by square root 5 here and 2 by square root 5. 2 and 2 multiply with each other, the answer will be 4. Square root 5, the answer will be only 5. Okay, we got the answer is sine square theta here. Now we will moving forward. We have a B part, same question. B part, the B part is he said find the cos theta. So how we find the cos theta is cos theta we have to find. So sine is our opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, we just draw the angle here. Good one. Okay, good one. Second is okay. Here we have opposite is 2. Look here, this is opposite is 2, and square root 5 is our hypotenuse, and what will be our base is x. We have to apply the Pythagoras theorem. What is the Pythagoras theorem? Is hypotenuse square equal to, we know that hypotenuse square equal to opposite square plus adjacent square. Now what is the opposite is 2 square, what is the adjacent is x square, what is the hypotenuse is square root 5 square. So these square are cancelled. 5 equal to 4 plus x square. So 5 minus 4 equal to x square, x equal to 1. We got this one. Okay dear friend, we got this one, x equal to 1. Now cos theta mean co opposite or adjacent. So co mean cos opposite or hypotenuse. So opposite is 1 and hypotenuse square root 5. We got this answer. Okay, hopefully dear friend you can understand this topic. Now we will moving forward. Okay dear students, we have a next question is find the exact value sine 45 and sine 60 degree. This is 60 degree. Okay, 45 we know that its value is 1 by square root 2, and sine 60 we know that its value is square root 3 by 2. We have the value of square root 3 by 2. Okay, now square root 3 multiply by 1, the answer is square root 3. 2 and square root 2 multiply, here we got this answer. Now this is in this is a third equation, so we have to convert third into the simple equation. Here we have to multiply by 2 square root 2 and 2 square root 2. जब भी सर्ड आते हैं तो आपने जो सर्ड्स की जो वैल्यू होती है उसको मल्टीप्लाई और डिवाइड करना होता है. नाउ 2 square root 6, here 4 square root 2 square, so we got 2 square root 6, 4 here 2, we got here 2 square root 6, the answer is 8, and square root 6 by 4, we got this answer. Okay dear friend, hopefully you can understand. Okay dear students, we have next question, the C part. How we solve this question, tan pi by 3 plus tan pi by 4 minus 1 minus cos pi by 3. So here we have to know about tan pi by 3, its answer is square root 3. You have to memorize the trigonometric tables, and also you can find this value from the calculator, and tan pi by 4 is 1 by square root 2 and 1 minus pi by 3 is 1 by 2. So we have to solve this question. Pi by 3 plus 1, pi by 2 divided by 2 minus 1, 2, take its LCM. After that square root 3 plus 1 by square root 2, the answer is 1 by 2. So it will be go here square root 3 plus 1 square root 2 multiply by 2 by 1, because it's reciprocal. Because um, now we have to solve this one 3, we have to solve this one by square root 2 multiply by square root 3 multiply by square root 2, it will be 1, and we got the answer is square root 6 plus 1 into 2 and square root 2, 2 square root 6 plus 2 divided by square root 2. We got the answer. Next we have a question. This here is angle system. Okay, now this angle system is working into this way. Here is we have first quadrant angle, this is third quadrant angle, and this is related to second and fourth quadrant angles. This line is we have to make this angle again and make this. Okay, now at first quadrant the angle it's going this way, in second quadrant the angle is going this way, and third angle is it's working look like this one, and fourth quadrant and this working look like this one. Here you can write it theta, and here you write it pi minus theta, and in fourth quadrant it will be pi plus theta, and fourth quadrant it will be 2 pi minus theta. Okay dear friends, hopefully you can understand the angle quadrant system. We have to solve some questions of quadrant system. One more explanation about the working about, let's suppose we have an angle is 240. Okay, how we will draw it? We can draw it into this way, because here is 0, 90, 180, and after that this 240s lie between 180 and between 180 and 270. Here 40 is 240 is look this one, this is making angle 240. Now second one is we have a B part in this way. Here we have a angle is minus 70. How we draw it? This way we can draw it by heading this way, because it's a against our first, second, and third quadrant. It's working. It's because it's negative. It's working. It's look here this one. So this is our minus 70 angle. Next our is C part. C part is we have 490. And how we draw the 490? This is in this way. The angle is look this one. Here is when one circle is completed, so it this point is it 360. After going is we will add one 360. If we add it 130, then we get 490 angles. Okay, अगेन डियर स्टूडेंट्स, हमने एक सर्कल कंप्लीट किया तो 360 आ गया. अगर इस 360 में 130 को मोर ऐड कर दिया तो वो हमारे पास क्या बन जाता है 490. जैसा कि हमारे पास 130 आप अगर देखें तो हमारे पास सेकंड क्वाड्रेंट में आएगा, और यहाँ से 130 आप इसको ऐड कर दें तो ये हमारे पास एंगल बनेगा 490 का. तो अब इन तीनों एंगल्स को हम इन पार्ट्स में भी इस तरीके से भी देखते हैं. जैसे कि हमारे पास फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है तो 180 में हमने क्या ऐड कर दिया, जो हमारे पास 240 बन गया. तो उसके लिए हमने 180 प्लस हमने 60 को ऐड कर दिया तो ये हमारे पास क्या आ गया 240. तो ये एंगल हमारे पास कितना होगा 60 डिग्री. इसी तरीके से अगर आप देखें ये पूरा एक सर्कल कंप्लीट होता है, ये एक सर्कल पूरा कंप्लीट होता है 360 का, लेकिन उस 360 में बेटा अगर हम लोग ये ऐड कर दें तो ये हमारे पास 190 बन जाएगा. ओके हो डियर स्टूडेंट, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दिस this difficulty level of questions. Now some standard rule we have to discuss about of the trigonometry. What's the standard rule? Here I am writing standard rule of trigonometry. Here, if theta is in first quadrant is alpha, and second quadrant theta is 180 minus alpha, and third quadrant I have to zoom it. Third quadrant it theta will be 180 plus alpha, and fourth quadrant theta will be 360 minus alpha. Here I have to draw it. First quadrant theta same as it will be alpha. Second quadrant theta will be 180 minus alpha. Third quadrant is theta equal to 180 plus alpha, and fourth quadrant is 360 minus alpha. Hopefully dear student you can understand these this type of the questions. Okay, move forward. We have to solving for the equation, how we deal the equation of the trigonometric equations. Okay, our first question is I have to write it equation solving. Okay, our first question is sin x equal to minus 1 by 2 and its interval is 0x less than 360. Here student, we write it into alpha sine inverse 1 by 2. Why I'm writing 1 by 2? I'm not writing is minus 1 by 2 because we have to ignore this is our basic angle. This is our basic angle, and here sine inverse 1 by 2 it will be 30 degree. Now we have to just ignore the minus. Just why we ignoring the minus? Look this way. This minus tell is in which quadrant sign is negative. We know that first quadrant all positive, sine, cos, sorry, tan, here tan, and here is cos. It's mean our third and fourth quadrant sign is negative. Third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Okay, I have to zoom in third quadrant. We know that we have to know at third quadrant we write it 180 plus theta, 180 plus theta or 180 plus alpha, you can as you wish, you like write it 360 minus alpha. Okay, now our alpha is 30, so 180 plus 30, the answer will be, here is answer will be x 210. Move forward. Here fourth quadrant x equal to 360 minus 30, x equal to 330. Once more I have to explain that this question, the question is that we have a solving solving equation sin x equal to minus 1 by 2, interval is 0 to 360. We have converted into the alpha angle because we know that the angle is over x. Here we have angle x, but we have discussed about here alpha is we just noted about the basic angle. We get the 30. After getting this 30 angle, we know that sine is negative in third and fourth quadrant. At third quadrant we know that the formula sheet is tell us 180 plus alpha. Here 180 because third quadrant it is added the sub angles 30, and fourth quadrant 360 is minus 30. Okay, I think okay, you have to completely understand this question. Now we have to move to forward and more practice about these type of the questions. Okay, we have to. Okay, dear student, we have a question. Cos second question, cos x equal to minus 0.5. First of all, we write it into the form of alpha. We have discussed before why we converted this angle into into the alpha. Okay, cos inverse 0.5, and we have to ignore the negative sign. A negative sign just shows the quadrant, nothing more. Here we got the answer is alpha is 60 degree. At 60 degree cos inverse 0.5. We know that cos is negative in second quadrant and third quadrant. For second quadrant and for third quadrant. Okay, for second quadrant we know that we write it, the angle x is equal to 180 minus alpha, and fourth quadrant x equal to 180 plus alpha. Here x 180 minus alpha is 60 degree, x 180 plus 60 degree, we got x equal to 240, and here 180 minus 60, we get the answer is 120. We got these two answers. Okay, okay, dear friends, now move forward. We have a third question. Third question is related about the tan of x equal to minus 1 by square root 3. Here is minus 90 less than x less than 360. Okay, now again we have to write it in the form of alpha. Tan inverse 1 by square root 3. Okay, we got the answer is 30 degree. Okay, now we know that tan is negative into the which quadrant? Tan is negative into the second quadrant, because all positive sign tan cos, so sin tan is negative in the second quadrant and fourth quadrant. Okay, dear friends, move forward. How we solve this question? Okay, for second quadrant, for third quadrant, for second quadrant we write it 180, x equal to 180 minus 30 degree, x equal to 180 minus 30, it will be 150. For the third quadrant, sorry, it's a fourth quadrant, not third quadrant, it's a fourth quadrant. It will be 360 minus 30 degree, so we got the answer 330. Okay, this is easy how to understand how we solve by 0 to 360. We have to right now solve this question by 0 to 360, but in our interval, look this one, there is minus 90. Minus 90 is totally different thing. How we deal this minus 30? So for that purpose we will go to the reverse working. How the reverse working? It's going this way. I have write it this way. Okay, now if we going reverse working, it will be x is over minus 30, because it start from the zero, its starting point is zero and moving the against the our quadrant system, so it is answer is minus 30. We got the answer is minus 30, 150 and 330. These are our answer. Why we do not go, why we not हम इससे आगे क्यों नहीं जा सके dear students? That's the reason, because क्योंकि यहाँ से यहाँ पर तो हम आगे की तरफ जा रहे हैं, तो ये हमारे पास 90 से ग्रेटर है, क्योंकि इंटरवल आपके पास माइनस 90 है, तो आपने माइनस 90 से आगे नहीं जा सकते, तो इस वजह से आपका सिर्फ एक ही आंसर कंसिडर होता है। होपफुली डियर स्टूडेंट आप कैन अंडरस्टैंड कर चुके होंगे इस क्वेश्चन को, तो हम आगे चलते हैं मज़ीद क्वेश्चंस के। हमारे पास नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है हमारे पास 4 sin x। आई थिंक लास्ट क्वेश्चन था हमारा थर्ड क्वेश्चन, तो ये हमारा 4 क्वेश्चन बन जाएगा। 4 sin x - 3 इक्वल टू 0। हाउ वी सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन? 4 sin x इक्वल टू 3। जूम भी कर लेते हैं ताकि इजी नजर आए। ओके, हियर sin of x equal to 3/4. Here we got the alpha value is sin inverse 3/4, and alpha we got the answer by using calculator 59। और इस तरह का क्वेश्चन तो ज़्यादातर ऐसा ही हो सकता है कि ये पेपर 2 का ही हो सकता है, क्योंकि कैलकुलेटर यूज़ हो रहा है। विदाउट कैलकुलेटर इसको पॉसिबल नहीं है सॉल्व करना। तो साइन हमें पता है कि कौन से क्वाड्रेंट में लाई करता है। साइन इज ओवर at first quadrant, and sine is going to our second quadrant. Okay, first quadrant and second quadrant. First quadrant and second quadrant. First quadrant, we know that same value of alpha, so x equal to 48.59, and for the second quadrant second quadrant it will be 180 minus 48.59, so we got 131.4। it's our required answer। 180 में से अगर हम 48.54 को माइनस करें तो 130.4, it's our required answer। Move forward, we have our next question number 5। how we solve this question? The question is 2 cos of x plus 1 equal to 0, and its interval is 0 to x and 360. Here also we have an interval. Okay dear students, next question is 2 cos of x plus 1, interval is 0 to 360. Okay, how we solve this question now? This is 2 cos of x equal to -1 cos of x minus 1 by 2. So here is alpha equal to cos inverse minus 1 by 2. We got alpha equal to 60. You can ignore the minus. It's not necessary to write it here in a quadrant system. But quadrant is only for to tell us about the negative sign, positive sign. These shows us the quadrant. Sign is positive in first quadrant, second quadrant. Okay, now cos is negative in, we know that, second and third quadrant. Okay, for second quadrant and third quadrant. For second quadrant it will be 180 minus 60 degree, x equal to 180 minus it is 20, answer 120. And third quadrant, just write it, third quadrant 180 plus 60 degree, so x equal to 240 degree. We got the answer. Okay, now move forward, we have question. In sixth question, 3 cos of x minus 1 equal to 0, 0 less than equal to x, x less than equal to 180. So here is cos of x equal to 1, 3 cos of x equal to 1, and cos of x equal to 1 by 3. We got these answers. Okay, here alpha we have 70.5. We know that cos is positive first quadrant and fourth quadrant. But if you look over limit, this is 0 to over interval tell us 0 to 180. So we no need to going forward to second quadrant. We don't need about the third quadrant and fourth quadrant. We just only focus on the first quadrant. So first quadrant it will be x equal to alpha, x equal to 70.5. This is our required answer. We know that cos is positive in the second quadrant and fourth quadrant. Sorry, cos is positive in the first quadrant and fourth quadrant. So but we utilized only first quadrant because due to this interval. Next question is we have related to the uh, radian. Here question is, in this question the interval is given by 0 less than equal to x less than equal to 2 pi. So he used 2 pi, it's mean he used the radian. Related to the question is radian. Okay, you have to memorize. If the question is given in the form of 2 pi, 3 pi, pi system, it will be they ask to the for the radian. Okay, cos of x equal to 0.5. So here is alpha equal to cos inverse 0.5. You have to convert it to your calculator into the radian mode. So alpha equal to, you got pi by 3. Okay, now we know that cos is positive at first quadrant and fourth quadrant. So this is your first quadrant, this is your fourth quadrant. For first quadrant, is it same as it is x equal to alpha, x equal to pi by 3. For the fourth quadrant, x equal to 2 pi minus alpha. So 2 pi minus pi by 3, we got the answer is 5 pi by 3. It's our required answers. Hopefully dear friend you can understand these questions. Now move forward.